Welcome. Welcome to the show. This is my show. This is called Psycho Silver. It's just me and an internet browser. And we're going to do it all in one take. I hope to do them all in one take. This is episode number 6. And I still want to explain every episode. The reason that my channel is named Psycho Silver is because we're going to study the psychology of money and finance and how people interact with the society that they live in. And also, I'm just a big fan of silver. The reason that I really got into politics and finance the way that I have is because first I became a silver stacker. My original awakening was in the libertarian community with the sound money people like Ron Paul. And I was really into Bitcoin at one point, but I've changed my mind on that quite a bit. But my goal is to grow this channel into a community, an open community of people that are like me, because I did used to think that I was very alone. And with the recent awakening that we're experiencing, I find out that there's many people that are like me, and people are at all different stages of their we'll just call it's an awakening. And sometimes people go through the social phase first, or even the political phase. But as you slowly become more aware of the culture, you see that we do have a big issue with the monetary system that we're living under. And so I'm not all doom and gloom. Like, I know that I've benefited quite a bit from this Western monetary system. But at the same time, I'm very aware of the Western banking cartel and how they use monetary practices to keep themselves in firm control and keep themselves insanely wealthy, and also control things like the social and political aspects of society using money directly as money, not just the possession of money, but the actual tools and the actual tools with which it is used. So today I got a show for us. We're gonna cruise the internet. I spend hours and hours curating the best content I could find from around the internet, and I'll be providing you with analysis and commentary. And I do have a short demonstration that I'm looking forward to doing. And so with that, once again, thank you for joining the channel, and thank you for liking. I know you'll do that. And let's jump into the content. I got lots of cool stuff to show you. Oh, also, I got my sound buttons working. If you watched yesterday, you know that I had some trouble with the sound buttons, but let's give this a try.
We are not gamblers here at the Iron Bank, Lord Tyrell.
I was calm on the outside, but thinking all the time.
We're going to have fun with that. I'm going to build up this little sound bank and video clips, and we're going to use this at real opportunistic times. It's going to be good. I still like the Sopranos one.
This thing is a pyramid since time immemorial. Shit runs downhill, money goes up. It's that simple.
All right, first up for you, I got a funny video. Let's check this out.
Okay, thank you. Can you try again? All right, but let's lower your tone now. I'm sorry, sir, but your card keeps declining. You shut your little mouth before your life declines, you hear me? You think I'm broke, don't you? You trying to embarrass me in front of all the women in this establishment. Now, what if I return the favor and I embarrass you? I'm gonna jump over this counter and I'm gonna beat you like I'm Jake Paul, you hear me? You won't like that, will you? Okay, thank you.
I know in the money and finance end of YouTube and even Twitter, there's not a lot of people with experience that are like excellent financial minds, but have also lived in poverty. I'm somewhere in between. I've definitely lived life in poverty before. And one day I hope to be living proof that even if you start out that way and you stay that way a long time, you can make it out and become a financial, maybe not an expert, but at least someone with some original thoughts and content that people like to watch, right? But I am going to keep an eye on these trends here, meaning as we continue along this path of certain destruction in our economy, I'm looking forward to seeing how this takes shape on the internet And, you know, people are wonderful. They always have a sense of humor about really tough situations. And of course, there is already a lot of poverty in America. Don't get me wrong. But I'm really looking forward to like seeing how this kind of takes shape, because the recession and the depression is going to take hold, and people are going to coalesce around that change in lifestyle even more. And I think that we'll also see people that are highly capable. There already is, don't get me wrong, there already is, but we're going to see people that are highly capable and socially aware also falling into poverty. And I just know that the whole situation around that this occurrence that's certain to come is going to produce some really interesting social media, some interesting movements, and you know, the memes and the anecdotes and the hashtags, and just to really see what kind of story unfolds as more and more people fall into poverty, because it is a certain thing, right? Interesting times ahead. Got another funny video. We'll start off with a couple of funny videos here.
Swipe it again. Swipe it one more time. One more time. And if your card declines once, please do not ask me to reswipe, because you and I both know you walked your behind into the store with no money on that card. So the second time, I'm going to be very obnoxious about it. Your total is $199. Here you go. Thank you very much. Whoa. Sir, your card declined. Declined? Yeah, like the thing that happens when you have no money. Decline. Try it again, please. I know there's money on the card. Lord, you one of those? Okay, your embarrassment, not mine. Just try it again. I know there's money. I'm gonna swipe, but you know you have no money on this card. You have to be so loud about it. Good grief. Whoa! Seems to me your card declined. I know there's money on it. Swipe it again. Swipe it one more time. One more time. Okay. Really? Another decline. And if
that's actually really funny. I hope you appreciated that as much as I do. Once again, that's going to be more and more a part of life, more than it already is, because we shouldn't underestimate how much it already is for many people. Onward. Here I got a tweet from Ben Rickert. Ben Rickert says, "You're living through the bursting of the biggest sovereign debt bubble in history." And in a sense, that is why we're here. That is why we stack our silver, watch the COMEX, buy our defensive tools, and stay vigilant. That's why it's important to maintain friendships. And I really love this response underneath that. Robert John says, "Haven't heard from the Debt Doesn't Matter crowd lately." You sure haven't. You sure haven't. Here we got a post on Wall Street Silver by John Brothers. User John Brothers says, "Silver squeeze in full effect in UK. Atkinson's is one UK's biggest dealers. BP falling down the toilet." Yes, we have seen that, and we're going to discuss that a little more. That makes sense. I know there was allegedly a big run on the coins with the Queen's image on them, but you know, if I'm seeing all this chaos around me and I'm living in the UK with the currency tumbling, I know what I would be doing with my spare money, and that would be picking up silver. But I'm already doing that, and our currency isn't tumbling, it's doing the opposite. But we know that it's all bad news. We know what it is. We're going to keep an eye on this situation. Eagle eye on that. COMEX, LBMA, the in-stock conditions of these dealers, and everything therein. Here we got a post from Silver to Mars on Wall Street Silver. Silver to Mars says AppMex is setting new sales records. It does not matter if it was Monday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. They're all the highest level for the year. How long will the inventory last? I do believe that AppMex has a pretty massive inventory right now. But with the price of silver and seeing how we haven't had those ultra wealthy really jump in yet, I feel like all that silver could be snapped up in a heartbeat. Imagine how astonishing that's going to be when we do wake up one morning and the silver's not for sale. And then people will be going into their dresser drawers and taking out their silver earrings and their silver necklaces and taking them down the street to the trade-in shops. I am curious to see, once we do get a really crazy spike in silver, how that all plays out with people turning in their silverware and their jewelry. Is it going to replenish the silver supply for some time, or is it just going to be too little too late? Interesting question. We're going to keep a close eye on this one. Next slide. Here we have a post on Wall Street Silver from Boo Randy. Boo Randy says, "This isn't shitcoin. This is the British pound." And we were following it last night. The pound gets pounded, right? And I have a lot more to add to this today. But that is a pretty gnarly chart there. Whew. Ooh, we want to play this meme right away. Let's play another meme right away. This video is really funny. You're gonna enjoy this. Let me get myself off the screen so you can really see it. This is good stuff.
God damn, shit getting expensive. Nigga, a box of cream of wheat gonna run you $8-9 after taxes. You know something wrong if they want $8.99 for the cheap cereal, not the knockoff brand. Y'all want $8.99 for the $10 for the knockoff brand after taxes. Kids don't even deserve no goddamn fruit snacks if they're gonna be $8 after taxes. Boy, if bacon wasn't on sale, that shit would be $10. I ain't never in my life about to give y'all no $15 for no block of cheese. Boy, that's gonna be $18 after taxes. Now you tell me, when have the big bag of hot Cheetos ever been $5.19? They went ahead and slapped $6 on the bag. That's $7 a bag after taxes. But ain't no way in hell this stale-ass beef jerky can get the dub. That's out. That's gonna be $24 after taxes. Ain't no way in hell I'm giving y'all $23 after taxes for this little-ass pack of chicken. We going vegan. Now, I used to rock with the Stouffer's lasagna. Not no more.
Oof. Oof. Once again, I already said it, but I just feel like I can make this point better than I did. The impact of the poverty that's coming is going to be profound upon our culture. And a lot of these people have never experienced poverty before. It's going to be a whole new world to them. And I just don't mean in the sense of the pain. Like the pain is a for sure thing. There's going to be a lot of pain. But I just mean in the age of the digital media, what do we do with it? How does it look? What are the communities that form around that poverty? The newfound poverty of the middle class. It's going to be something to behold. And that time is it's upon us. Next up. Here's a really good quote here. This was posted into the neoliberal Reddit. It says, "Poverty has no causes. Only prosperity has causes. Analogically, heat is a result of active processes. It has causes. Cold is not the result of any processes. It's only the absence of heat. Just so, the great cold of poverty and economic stagnation is merely the absence of economic development." That is just so profound. That is what do they say? The mark of a great mind is being able to entertain a thought without having to believe it. I don't know. I can make an argument that abundance is the natural state of humanity. But I wasn't alive 200 years ago. I wasn't alive 300 years ago. You could just as easily make the argument that poverty is the natural state of human existence. But then how do we define wealth, right? How do we define poverty? These are complicated questions, but I do get the point of that quote, and I really feel the spirit of it. And even if you don't completely agree with that, it's like a concept that you need to have. You need that concept in your mind, and to be able to think that way to carry you through the tough times. And also that speaks to being grateful for what you do have. And a person that's in the state of gratitude is someone that is a can-do. If you can't get in touch with your gratitude, you're not a can-do person. And that's what's going to be needed more than ever. The time for resilience is well on its way. And I do hope with my big, fat, gaudy stack of silver that I make it out on the better end, because I think that is one of the few things that's a true opportunity to do that. But even that might not be what I think it is going to be when the devastation has ripped through society, ripped through human civilization. Oh yeah, it's happening. Next slide. Silver to Mars on Wall Street. Silver posts staggering year-to-date declines in many currencies in the developed world. Russia, Brazil, Mexico have, however, seen their currencies appreciate against the USD. Oh, there was a few that appreciated. They increased their rates aggressively early on, front-running inflation, whereas the West kept rates at zero and pretended inflation didn't exist. Mexico, huh? Well, that is really, man, this is quite a post here. And I did make this point last night, and I want to make it again. Isn't it interesting that the British pound and the Japanese yen, you see those two on the bottom here, having experienced some of the biggest losses? They are also holders of US debt. Two of the biggest holders of US debt. Is that just a coincidence? I don't know. But also, what possessed Mexico to raise their rates, or the rest of the world wasn't doing that either? And we're going to talk a little bit more about rates here in a second here. I wanted to show you this slide. And we did talk about the pound quite a bit in the crash. We didn't get into the intricacies of that. But the gilts here are the government bonds. This is a 10-year UK government bond. And you see that gnarly spike there. And I am one of the guys that I did learn a lot from is Gregory Mannarino. And he taught me to keep an eye on these bonds. And dang, he was right. There we go. That is a parabolic move. And something we've been talking about in nearly every episode of the Psycho Silver is all the parabolic moves that are happening everywhere. It's unprecedented. It's hard to fathom. It is a red flag, and in every way you can determine something is a red flag. There you have a parabolic move. And I would like to provide a reason for this parabolic move, but I don't know for sure. I think that it's because the inflation is so bad that the bond doesn't make sense. Like, you need somewhere better to hide your money, in dollars perhaps, and that's something that's contributing to the strength of the dollar, right? Why you want to go and get a bond and for sure lose money, and then you're also locked in. That could be it. Or what is another reason the bonds would be spiking like that? Well, they're just not buyers. Oh, maybe it's because maybe these bonds are taking off because let's see if this tweet comes up. Here we go. Maybe it's because bond erosion and corrosion doesn't always reflect a high inflation environment, but could also reflect a possible future default. Great point by the great Marty. This guy has also taught me so much. I really recommend following this account. I also wanted to present to you, we have the Bank of Japan announces unscheduled bond buying operation. It's panic time. Okay, so this is all related, just so we're clear here. So we saw how the US treasuries are spiking. We did see how the UK bonds were spiking. Do we need to look at the US treasuries? We can, I think I have that open. We can do that real quick. Where you at? Here we go. So there's the US Treasury spiking up. We talked about that in some previous episodes and all the implications therein. But the difference for us is we have a strong dollar and our bonds are spiking. But in Japan and in the UK, their currencies are slipping and the bonds are spiking. So two different stories, but we know all the bonds are spiking. And does our great Marty have a point there? Is it because they're sniffing out a possible default? I don't know. But everything that I've shown you right here, everything that I've shown you does point to the dollar milkshake theory. And right now, it would be my honor to try and explain it for you. Once again, this is all one take. And I'm gonna do it live. No, this isn't really live. But if I botch it, then it's gonna be. I'll have to re-record. The pressure's on. I'm gonna make this presentation good because we will eventually be doing this show live. It's gonna be glorious. So let me demonstrate for you for the very first time. I'm gonna demonstrate the dollar milkshake theory to you. Here we go. This is going to be awesome. Dollar milkshake. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this circle tool. Oh, that's not a circle tool. Failed already. We're going to draw a circle here. And that circle stands for the dollar. Okay. And we're going to take a rectangle. And this is going to stand for the British pound. Okay. And we're gonna take we'll take a diamond, and this diamond here stands for the Japanese yen. Okay. So already between these countries here, since the dollar is very strong, what we already have is let me just draw this. It'll be better if I draw it. And we'll do this in green. So we already have dollars being traded. Even them amongst themselves trading dollars because it's such a strong currency, right? Okay, so there's dollars being exchanged as it is, but what we need to understand about the debt and the interest rates is this. So in America, we do loans, and for a long time, let's do these loans in red. We do these loans, and the catch with these loans, because of our financial position, is these loans were zero interest or near zero interest. And now we're drawing a circle over here in the UK because these are loans made in the dollar, okay? And they're inside the UK. And again, over here with Japan. So now we have dollar-based loans in all three countries, okay? And these were all done, all these red ones up here. We'll put red. Oh, wait, switch to brush. Okay. So in the red, these are loans at zero. Meaning you didn't owe interest when you go to pay off those loans. You did not owe any interest on them. You basically just paying back the amount, or if you did owe interest, it was very small. And what happened is because of that, Imagine the size of the circle is the amount of the loan, okay? Well, paying the amount you pay back to that loan is a very similar size circle, okay? It's nearly the same amount. So paying it back is easy. So we'll come up here. And the blue is pay back. Loans easy. Okay. So what happens is then the Fed goes and changes the Fed fund rate, and that causes everyone else to raise their interest rates. Okay. And so when that happens, now we'll do this one in orange here. Now the amount that's owed back is bigger than the original loan, and depending how high the interest rates are, it can be a lot bigger, right? So these circles are bigger because whoever took out these loans owes more money back. You get that? Bigger owes more money back. More likely to default, right? So already there, we're increasing the amount of danger because they owe a lot more back. But then, so here's where the dollar milkshake theory comes into play. So where all these dollars, we're going to switch back to green because we're talking about US dollars here, okay? So where all these dollars were being traded amongst the countries, what starts to happen is the dollars that are normally leaving, they start using them. They start taking them out to put, and it's no big deal here because it's already all dollar based, right? This is already all dollar based. So if you're Japan over here, Japan needs dollars. So how does Japan get dollars? Well, they need to sell something. One of the easiest things that they have an abundance of is they can sell yen. Sells yen. And same thing here. Brits sell pound. So what does that do? Well, when you sell something and you sell a big abundance of it, the price goes down. So the pounds go down. Have we seen that? You bet your ass. That's what we've been looking at. Yens go down. And also, very importantly, very, very relevant, the dollar strengthens. And that's exactly what we're seeing all over the world, times 100. This is the dollar milkshake theory. How'd you like that? So is that slightly oversimplified? Yes. But is it accurate? Very much so. I hope you appreciated that. All right. Tell me what you think of that presentation. I got a few more slides for us. Here's one of my absolute favorite Twitter accounts. This is Grady, and he does commodities and technical analysis, and he's really into cyclical trades. He is touting commodities for the past 2 years, saying that we're upon the biggest cycle of commodities that the world has ever seen, meaning real life things are about to get revalued to a much higher place. Fake money, fake things, all these kinds of theoretical technological companies aren't going to be worth as much unless they're actually producing things that work. But the real life stuff, the food, the metals, the energy, all gonna skyrocket because we're about to move to a real economy on real things. And we've been in a downtrend of commodities for so long that people just take it for granted that food's short, that energy's cheap, that all the things that our grandparents suffered to have, we just have them in our lives automatically, and we don't even know that most of human existence has been another way. But here he has a cool chart for you. So this is in Canadian money, but we get the idea here. This is the really long downtrend in a ratio. This is commodities versus large cap index. So this is a comparison of a basket of Canadian commodities, and commodities once again are real things like oranges, like fuel, like gold and silver, like soybeans, corn, cotton, and all those real coffee, things that people eat and consume. And there's huge open markets for. That's a commodity. And then your S&P 500 is just like all the normal stocks that you're used to hearing and talking about. You got your Netflix and your Amazon and your Tesla. And this is crashing. I'm going to give up on this. But what we see here is this super long downtrend that we were in. And this goes all the way back to 2009. We were in this very long downtrend, and what happened here is we just poked out of that downtrend, and he says here 13-year perfect falling wedge breakout. So we're breaking out to the upside, and this gentleman believes we're about to go to the fucking moon, to Mars even, with the prices of commodities. He's also very big on uranium, which sounds like a really good idea. He did have another cool tweet that I wanted to show you here. We're not going to cover uranium today. Grady wrote, "The commodities bull market should last at least 10 years from 2020 lows, and it will be glorious. When we get YCC, yield curve control, that's what they're doing in Japan already, is yield curve control. They're controlling the price of the bond because they were about to go crazy the same way as we saw in Japan. And the bull markets in general, equities and bonds are accepted to be history. Global capital flows will be historical. So people are going to be buying real stuff in a big way when they do finally give up, and it's coming. People still think they're going to hit it big in the stock market. It doesn't appear to be that way." Another tweet from Grady. "Big declines. Big declines happen to flush out excessive bullishness and reset sentiment. One has to resist going on this roller coaster to survive mentally. Emotional control plus acting at high and lows is key. That's where we practice at the service. That is what we practice at the service. And don't let the bastards grind you down." He's talking about how difficult it is to stay on track, and particularly with the precious metals. So if you are thinking of investing in precious metals, just be made aware it's a little tough to do. You're gonna it's a little bit like Bitcoin in the sense that you're gonna have some really bad days. You know how like in crypto you have those super crappy swings and it looks very gloomy and then it improves. Well, same can be said of the gold and silver. We're going to watch this chart like a hawk too. A great Martise got an update for us on the DXY. And we did see today, we kept an eye on this yesterday. And yesterday we did see that it was under 114. So we're almost at 115 here. So we did have another like 1 or 2% rise, which is actually quite a bit. Like 1 or 2% is a lot for that to go up in one day. And that's what happened. Here's a tweet from the Gold Telegraph. I thought this was important. The Gold Telegraph wrote, Morgan Stanley says dollar surge tends to end in crisis. This is true. 2020 continues to be one for the financial history books. It's getting real. It's getting real. So this is a post on Reddit that I just don't trust these things. This guy says he YOLO'd his entire life saving, or 4 years of his salary, and he made 4 years of salary in 4 hours. And yep, I don't know how much I believe this stuff. It kind of feels like propaganda or an advertisement. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. But this lottery mentality is half of the problem with people these days, and they're going to be getting more and more desperate.
Have you ever wanted to believe in something, even though you knew it couldn't be true? Did you ever want to believe it so bad?
Just the thought that you could do it this way versus giving yourself a new skill, just really working on yourself, applying for better jobs, starting your own business. And that is the society that we live in right now. The lottery mentality. And what we know about the lottery, what we know about trading crypto is the worst. Every YouTube channel tells you they're making all this money trading crypto, and they all swear that they're the next guy. This guy's better than the last every time. But on the whole, they're all losing money. There might be a couple fucking killers out there that are doing it, but it's a good way to lose all your money. The house always wins. And I would tell you, I strongly suspect, you know, when they say the house always wins, there's a little bit of fucking regulation on how quickly and how savagely a casino can fleece you. And you're kind of aware of it too. But these cryptos, the exchanges, especially the kind where you can trade with leverage, and it is like some of them are even, they look like fucking casinos on the trading page, and you can do all these weird bets. And your odds are worse than the odds at a casino. I guarantee it. And I am certain that sometime when we're substantially into the crash, because this is just the beginning in my humble opinion, and I don't believe that crypto is going to be pulling out of this economic depression, they will be the cautionary tale of this economic depression. It's going to be the shit that we remember in 15, 20 years. How crazy, the same way that they talk about, like, not even like the .com, like, it's, what would we compare it to? I mean, it would be like if you combine the .com with the mortgage securities in 2008, and you added Iraqi dinars to that, and you mixed them all together. That's how we're going to be looking at crypto in 15 years. And I'm certain that crypto is a real technology, and some of these have amazingly interesting promises, and they make sense in theory, but I just don't. One of I was gonna say like 1 of 1,000. That's not even true. It's gonna be like 1 of 100,000 will work, and the one that's probably gonna really change everything hasn't even been invented yet. My 2 cents. I have an interesting video for you here, and I thought this was analogous to what you see in the precious metals market. Let me get my fat head out of the way. You can. There's no sound on this, but let's. So we have these 2 women that are selling eggs, and they're engaged in a price war. They're looking at each other's prices and they're marking each other down. And this woman on the right says, "Oh, you marked yours down so far. I'll just pay you out in cash. I'll take all of what you have." And now that she has cornered the market of the eggs, she's the only one with eggs. Oh, now she sets her own price, and she sets her own price to a much higher level. And this is exactly what is taking place in the silver market right now. The people that are keeping the price nice and low they're just sucking up as much silver as they possibly can, and when the opportunity arrives, it'll be a complete 100% reprice, guaranteed. It's coming, and we're gonna be joking, and I'm waiting to see the person. I'm keeping an eye on you, on all you people that are really wealthy right now. And I'm not criticizing, or I'm not trying to make it weird, but I want to see the ones that say, "But I don't want to buy all that silver because of how heavy it is." It's going to just be interesting one of these days, because we're going to look back and say, "Oh, I didn't buy all that silver because it was heavy." Like, heavy's a good thing. You want a bunch of money. You wouldn't say that about, "Oh, these diamonds are too heavy." It just means you're going to be wealthy. You want your money to be big. It's freaking coming. Last web page I have for you this evening. This is from the Heritage Organization. And according to the Heritage Organization, Americans have lost $4,200 in annual income under the Biden administration. And I did not read this entirety, but I do want to see what some of the source data is for that. Heritage experts calculated... Oh, I didn't bring it up. Here we go. Move over here. Once again, because I didn't have it on screen. Heritage expert: Americans have lost $4,200 in annual income under the Biden administration. And that's a pretty specific, tidy number. And I thought it was an interesting headline. And I did see that it was a study, but what I did not see is the specifics about how they arrived at that number. So let's see a little bit and see if this data makes sense, if it's any good. New economic numbers show that the average American has lost the equivalent of $4,200 in income under the Biden administration because of inflation and higher interest rates. Okay, now at least I know how they get it. Heritage experts calculated this shocking number based on sets of data. Consumer prices have risen 12.7% since January 2021, significantly faster than wages, so that the average American worker has lost $3,000 in annual purchasing power. Okay, so it's about the equivalent of $3,000 in purchasing power. Further, as the Federal Reserve implements tighter monetary policy to reduce inflation, interest rates are rising. Higher rates have in turn increased borrowing costs on mortgages, vehicle loans, credit cards, and more. The higher interest rates and borrowing costs have effectively reduced the average American's purchasing power another $1,200 annualized on an annualized basis. That is very specific. And that is very interesting. And I will definitely be putting that statistic into my mind for when it will come in handy in a discussion with friends that I may know. And with that, that concludes my final slide. And I do appreciate you for watching my show tonight. And I hope you did get something valuable from it. I am going to try and be here every single night. I got a lot of days in a row already. And so I do hope that you like the show. I'm going to continue and I'm going to keep getting better. And I got all kinds of like ideas and directions that I want to take this channel to make it both informative and entertaining. But I appreciate you so much for watching, and do stack silver, and do get yourself prepared for the incoming chaos. It is no longer theoretical. It's just like we can see it's a little far out, but it's definitely there, and it'll be upon us very shortly. So do take care of yourself and take care of your friends and family. And once again, thank you for watching the show, and you have a good evening. Goodbye.